I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks for all you guys coming. We had to cancel Monday's meeting for various reasons, so
That's okay with us.
we had to reschedule. Yeah, it worked out great for you guys. So we don't have the minutes this week, but we do have financials, so did you have a chance to look at that?
Yes, I did.
Any changes?
I see nothing.
Can
I guess we cleared the fire department.
Yeah. Can't get a motion?
Yeah, I move that we accept them.
I will say yes. Nancy, communications.
You're into the regular meeting and you have to have the
You wanna do that
public
first?
hearing first.
You wanna do this first?
Oh, yeah. that has
Got
to
your
go
recorder
first.
going, Nancy? Is that your recorder?
This is to approve the budget, for the next fiscal year. I will read them off as follows. General Fund 148.8, then there's some change. What's the motor vehicle license tax,
License tax.
$17,532, gas tax, $95,950. Now, will that go up with this new tax?
It should, but I don't know how much.
Okay. Road and Bridge Fund, $98,523, cemetery, $11,500, fire, $498,170. Motor vehicle,
That's the
permissive
permissive.
tax, $80,850, the bond retirement, $55,600. What's your last one? PUT, purpose fund for $5.
That's the.
Is that one that floats around in
That one
there?
that we can't spend, except for the 4 cents interest that we get off of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a motion, we accept this as presented.
I second.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yeah, now you gotta open the bid
Motion.
next.
Oh, yes, the bid, yes. Again, due for Monday's reasons, we have the bid that we're gonna open right now for the Johnson Road project. We have one bid. This is coming from Melway Paving Company out of Holmesville, Ohio. This is the 2019 Sebring Johnson Road, TH 62, Section A resurfacing project. Yeah.
You
Right.
need to read that to us.
This is all gonna be the legal. That's all the legal.
That's red, blue.
$119,605.45. We've got a grant to pay for half of that. So we will, our
61.2 is what our
61.3, right?
61.2.
119,605.
But it was turned in as 120,000 something.
Oh, okay, so it'll be less than that. Okay. You got your lines, you got your centers, you got your aggregate. Traffic control. Jeez, I should work that. You know what they're getting for traffic control? $10,000. It's gonna take them a day.
How much are you gonna do?
Pardon
Stop
me?
traffic. How much are they doing?
They're gonna do from
14 to dance.
14.
14 to the
Bend?
curve, right to
That's
Mahoney
it?
County.
That much money for that little
It's
bit?
very expensive. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yep.
That's why there's still so many potholes.
All right, so
Wow.
I'm going to
I thought you was doing the whole road.
move we accept this bid.
I second.
It's the only one we have. And I guess according to the county engineers, there's only 2 companies out there doing short mileage, this being one of them, so. There you be, Nancy. Oh, you can have that. That's got the name on it. Okay. Now are you ready, Twa?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, let's do some communications.
Okay, from the Board of Elections, we are writing to inform you that your building will not be needed as a polling location on August the 6th, as there will be no August special election held in August.
Okay.
From the Ohio Division of Liquor Control,
Dollar General.
Dollar General is asking for a liquor license. It's for beer and wine.
Carry
only,
out.
Carry out. And you must let them know if you want to request a hearing or not.
I don't want to request a hearing, but I do have the question where Zone A and where Zone B is at. Is anybody really familiar with the cutoffs of the voting in Deerfield? Because they've got it cut up so bad. And the reason is I thought Family Dollar was Zone A. And I know when the vote came up years ago for Island Creek and the Sebring Country Club to have liquor and stuff, that was Zone B that got voted in. And I think Mike was also Zone B. So my question was, is I thought 224 South was B, 224 North was A, except there was a cutout
There's a
somewhere.
cutout.
There-
I know
Yeah.
down by Bonner and Cobb there is,
Right.
but I'm just wondering, I guess my question was, is how did they end up with the license when it wasn't approved on A? If that in fact is
If
what it
you
is.
go to the Board of Elections, they could show you a map. You
Okay.
could find out that way.
I thought we had one here, but,
No.
okay. So, I mean, I
I know they had one at the polls, but I don't know who brings them.
yeah.
They
there's
come-
always-
But
Yeah,
if
they,
she-
There's always
they,
an
if you look how
after
it's cut out, does anybody
come
live
to the
north of
elections.
224 that's here tonight?
I don't know where I live. I live on
What are
the
you?
road.
Up the road.
I know, but
Are you
are you
A?
A or B?
Hey.
So I thought, yeah. So, but there is some cutouts, but,
It's been too long.
okay. Now, they're just requesting a hearing, there's no way the township can stop it. We can delay it, but I don't have an issue,
I don't either.
okay. We do not request a hearing?
that's correct.
Yep.
Okay. Got a letter from Mr. Don Bell. Due to lack of community support and township financial constraints, I am tendering my resignation from the zoning resolution committee effective immediately. So you have to move whether you are gonna accept that.
Does didn't that go to their committee?
No, because we were the ones.
You
that
guys
voted.
appointed
They
them.
came to us,
Okay,
remember?
okay,
I move that we accept his resignation.
and I'll second.
Okay, a man by the name of Bob Strohaker,
Maybe here?
are you here? Apparently not. Down on Albert Drive, there is an abandoned trailer. He said it's been abandoned 6 or more years. And he was talking to the building department about it, and they told him to contact the trustees to file a complaint about it. It's just been abandoned, it's trashy, there's grass growing up all over the place.
Dilapidated, probably.
So first thing
Yeah,
we'd have
and
to
it's
do, we would have to hire and get the property, find out who the owner is through.
Well, first of all, he'd have to file a complaint with you guys, and
Correct.
in order to make it legal, he'd have to come to.
And then we
meeting.
will have to do a deed search or have,
Yeah,
we'd have to do a deed search. And then we have to go in front of a court, in front of a judge, swear on a search warrant, take the building department down, the health department down. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities,
Right.
but, yeah. If he formally comes to the meeting, makes a complaint, then we'll move on that.
that's all I have.
Randy?
I have nothing.
I have nothing either. Let's go to the fire department.
We had 21 runs since the last meeting. 1 traffic crash, 14 EMS. We went mutual aid twice for EMS. We responded twice with the water rescue team to Kent. One mutual aid fire and one mutual aid crash.
The thing in Kent, was that where the river and people were jumping in?
One time. And then we had to rescue a fellow that decided he wanted
Yeah.
to swim a whole bunch in Twin Lakes.
Twin Lakes, yeah. Yeah.
Until he drowned.
No,
That's what
he
was-
didn't.
That's what he was planning on.
Yeah.
They chased him for 5 hours.
You're kidding.
Mm-mm. He was a good swimmer.
He must have
He was
been.
really good.
He had some big lungs, but.
He must have been.
I
Okay.
got a grant through EMS. We can pay for training. It's 3,800 and some change that we could use towards that paramedic program.
What paramedic? Who's one? Who?
Tell us.
Good, great. We're almost there, right? Now, what did
Good.
you find out through UH and where to send her?
Trying.
Because didn't one their cutoff was the first?
June 1st, yes.
Did
So we're
you,
still working on that.
did you contact to find out we can slide her in?
We're trying.
Okay.
The person in charge of
Kinda
the
let us
program
know.
hasn't returned any calls yet,
Okay, little heads up.
so we'll have to get a green light. You gonna pay for it all, the remaining?
Oh, I gotta find out what the total is.
55.
It is 5,500, so that would be, somebody.
Lower.
1,700.
That's much on my mind. So-
So you're gonna have $2,000 into it.
Again, we'd have to get the contract like we did before with them. I mean, I'm not opposed, I don't wanna make that judgment yet, but I'm leaning that way, probably,
I
yes.
can't work towards pushing somebody into class. that
Well,
I
then
might pay
put,
for.
okay, so, again, we have to contract, and if she's willing to sign that contract, and you're catching us here that we don't even have it written out yet. Because, again, we wanna pay, we'd like for her to commit to the township for 5 years, so we can get some, of her money, so. Providing that, I'll make the motion, we pay the 1,700 to send her for paramedic school.
As long as we get the paperwork and
Right.
the contract signed.
Right, providing that, yeah.
I'll second.
Providing that we get all that signed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we still have the Moore grant available, or do we use it for this year?
Yes. No, it is available.
What would you like? You're wanting to spend money, I
I
know,
am.
so.
I wanna look into getting some bulletproof vests if we ever have to go to the school. We don't have any kind of protection to protect our people.
So,
You're not going to my school.
It doesn't just happen
Hey,
in
we're not going to
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
It doesn't just happen in
I know it
Cleveland.
doesn't.
I'm teasing, I'm teasing.
I don't know how many you're gonna get with that. I mean, I have looked up into that for various reasons. And it's the plates that will run you.
Yeah.
So it's not just the vest, but the
The
plates that
vest
go
is
in.
the cheap part.
Right, the plates are what you're gonna spend money on, so you might wiggle one out for 500. It might be a basic,
That's what we're
but it's not gonna be a tactical, with all your bells and whistles, so we'll look into that. We still have time to use that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
You get to wear it, right?
No,
Yeah,
chief stuff's outside. Just saying.
and it's no to a Chiefs car again this week,
And no jet.
How about chief?
and no jet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're still online for the helicopter then, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm right on it. Okay,
We blow
you
it.
got anything else, Brian?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so let's go to the roads department. Ed's not here, he usually kinda keeps track of what's going on. I do know Mikey's been roadside mowing.
Not good
and,
enough.
We're gonna get to this right now. And I agree with you, 100%. It looks like, excuse my language, it looks like shit. We were told when we bought the excavator that excavator's gonna do everything. Well, I just got the call from Mikey last Thursday, last Friday. They were roadside mowing, and the back bearing it on that track was going bad. Those tractors were never meant, those excavators, to run up and down miles and miles and miles. He's wearing this thing out. $5,200 to fix that track. When you replace that bearing in the back, you're
Can't replace it.
supposed to do both of them. $10,400. I told him, stop roadside mowing. I said, because you know what? I said, then you're gonna baby that. That's to dig ditches, put culverts in, cemetery things, you know, we should have never used it for roadside mowing. We should have never done that. That being said, we got some bids in the past. We started this last year to look. We ended up buying a mower from Hiram Township that they bought, a brand new mower for about $26,000. We paid $15,000. It has like 10 hours on it. They broke their tractor with it because they didn't buy a big enough tractor. They literally broke it. So we bought the mower at 10 hours, $10,000 cheaper. So we did buy the mower. We don't have a tractor to run it. But you couldn't pass it up. We knew we were gonna have to go this route to begin with. So we found the lowest bid through state bids and everything else. This is a New Holland up at Miners. It is a lease with a buyout, a small buyout at the end, like $1,000 I think after you do the 5 years. We've talked to Nancy about the finances of it. She said the road department can afford it. This is not general fund money, it's not fire money, it's the road department money. So the road department money can purchase that. She said we can't afford it. I'm pretty much tired of the roads looking like shit. And I don't know what you guys think they do or not, but that mower we have does not cut, it grinds and pulls. It's okay to push back corners and brush, but it's not good for mowing. So I wanna get this tractor. I'm gonna make a motion, we go ahead with the purchase of that tractor, lease purchase,
And it's coming out of road fund,
correct?
and Nancy said we had the money out of road fund to do it.
We don't have it in the general or the.
No, I know, but I'm just, I wanna make sure
It is
when
coming out
it's
of
on
the
that
road
right there.
fund, yes.
Because that's gonna be the complaint. Oh, you
Yes.
guys did this? No, I second.
Okay, yes, it's road fund.
Did anybody get a hold of Brad Montgomery about that corner where I can have it cut down more and back?
Mikey was looking for Brad.
He said he changed his number
He
and
called
stuff.
me up, yes, he called me up and said, Mark, you want me to take the excavator over on this property? I said, absolutely not. We're not allowed to do that.
I
Reach
know.
out as far as you can go and get a hold of
Wow.
Brad. Now, he's gonna lose this in sheriff's sale from what I understand anyhow, so whether that's true or not, that's my understanding of
Because that
sheriff's sale's
corner on the
coming up.
left side is really bad, 'cause once you're at that stop sign, you can't see any cars coming.
You're talking where he cut the woods down, now it's grown up, or the opposite side?
On Wagner and Johnson, right there on the left.
Towards Ed's house.
Also
Yeah.
Johnson.
Ed's house.
Right,
Yeah.
No.
but that, you're talking about the four corners, you're talking about if you turn right on Wagner, if you're coming off 14.
If
You
I'm
can-
coming off of Wagner and going straight across onto, still staying on Wagner.
Okay,
That right there on the left is bad because you
Okay.
can't see past those tall,
I'll call Mikey tomorrow and find out if he actually got a hold of,
because it's the hazard. I mean, at nighttime when I take Denny to work at 5:30 in the morning, I can see car lights. When I go to leave for work, I can't see car lights.
I mean, is it a problem sitting up in the car, the short, you put a
That could be
pillow
the
underneath?
problem.
No, the
No, I
problem
will-
is you have to be in the road to see past
Yes.
that. That's the
And the
problem.
cars are already
So-
coming
They're
in
already down the hill.
I'll remind
Yeah.
Mikey again tomorrow
because of that dip.
to try to find Brad.
Yeah.
Brad was driving his red truck and then we didn't see his red truck and then it wasn't running.
He's
and
at the church almost every day.
But now there's a Volkswagen there, did he get a Volkswagen?
That's his daughter's, I think.
So he must be driving it,
But
I don't know.
He's got two U-Hauls there today, so he's been in and out.
okay.
Because you called it the barn. And
Oh.
Johnson Road needs that too, when you come from Johnson Road to 14 on the right. You can't see either, you're almost out in the road. too.
Yeah, that whole thing, even where he had sold that wooded area, now that's grown up, that needs all blowed back too. And that's what the excavator in that head that we have is good for, to blow that back, the brush and stuff. But as far as actual mowing, it just it doesn't do a good job at all.
It just
looks
bends it
terrible.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does, it beats it,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it does.
yeah, so.
And the sheriff's sale was also canceled.
Was it?
Yeah. Monday it was canceled.
Are they gonna have it again, or?
I went because I wanted to see who was buying the property beside of us. That's the only reason.
I heard it was at Martig
Well,
was,
they say
was
that
going
he
to buy
probably
it.
will. I mean, I hope
Probably.
he does.
Yeah,
I don't want a development in there, I'll have to move.
I don't think.
I don't want to live in the city.
So, that's all I have on the road department. Anybody else have anything?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You piled over on the old lot in the circle, township lot,
Okay,
the old forest property?
you're talking about where the recycling's at?
Yes.
Okay,
On the old building foundation there, you piled silt, or you piled ground milled asphalt last winter.
okay,
Now, there's a drain in there.
okay,
It affects 4 properties, counting the township property. 3 other properties, mine and the 2 next to me.
okay,
Silt from this asphalt went down into that drain and has got the pipes plugged.
okay,
And the only way I can relieve that is to take them pipes up. This condition didn't exist a year ago. So that happened during the winter, when you had that milled asphalt piled up there.
okay.
And I'm gonna have to have somebody take it up, because I'll have a perennial swamp at right in the middle of my lot.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have the gentleman go over there and take a peek and see what's up. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm not familiar with that. I mean, I know we got.
Well, many years ago, the township wanted that drain open. They insisted upon it, and they thought that I was much younger then. In fact, it wasn't mine, it was my father's. But we had to go out and dig it up and show them that our drain wasn't plugged, that there was a plug further up. And the township corrected that plug, and there was where the old door of the old building that's tore down,
Okay,
there was a door, there was a catch basin there. And that takes the water underground, so it's not on top. Your water doesn't drain to the circle or out to 224. It goes to the back,
okay.
off all that township property there.
So, well, are you home during the day where I can send them guys there and you can explain to them what you think the issue is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's
But
see.
you'd have to-
How about
I don't-
tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I can arrange to be there if I know somebody's coming. I got things to do too, you know.
Well, I will,
Let's just get your number.
yeah.
And that way we can give it to our road guys, and they can call you and make sure you're there, and they can come up and,
You can show them where you think the issue's at.
yeah, so
I
we
know
can.
exactly where the issue is.
Okay.
Okay, well, that will help.
Because years ago, I was in the process, I had to dig it up, or part of it.
Right. All right, so before you leave, let's get your number, and then we'll give it to those guys to contact you, set up a meeting so you guys can go together and see what the problem is. Okay?
Well, it's gonna cost me some money to dig that up. It's gotta be dug up because they're full. The silt has went all the way through. Affected my property and the next
Well,
two.
let's see, on the township side, let's see if we open up and see what we find. You know what I mean? We can kind of tell by that.
Well, you can see it because it's coming out of the ground.
Okay. Well, we'll get him over there with you, and we'll get your phone number. We'll have them guys contact you. You guys can meet over there, and you guys can discuss this. We'll figure it out.
All right.
Okay.
Now, along with that, there's a property, used to be the Thompson property that was bought by the guy that does this
Excavating?
excavating.
Mhm.
I mow the front, and what was obvious, but he hasn't made any attempt to knock down those tall weeds in there this year.
Mm-mm.
No attempt whatsoever, and they're over our heads. What's down is what I took down. Just like I mow the township property in the back up to the hill where the dirt's piled up. I'm not complaining about that.
Okay.
I like to mow it so I can see. I don't want critters, and it's abrupt to my property, and there's no advantage to me to let it grow up, just for any stupid reason.
Right.
So it's easier to mow it than it is to complain.
I agree. The last time that I talked to Justin, he actually called and wanted to know if the township would purchase that property. And I asked him a figure, and he gave it to me, and he's absolutely off his rocker, so.
Well,
So, and I think I spoke to you, the Legion, about that.
briefly.
Yeah,
Now here,
so,
when this transaction took place,
pardon me?
I think, excuse me, when this transaction took place, whatever year it was, the guy that was the owner, his mother became power of attorney
He was in jail.
because he's in the lockup. He went around, it was never posted, it was never mentioned, he went around behind everybody's back and bought it.
He did do that.
He went in there and he stripped a foot of dirt, stock dirt, off that whole lot, on both sides of the sidewalk, mind you, even between the state highway and the sidewalk. The only thing he didn't take up was the sidewalk,
Right.
and he filled it in with junk from his projects.
No, I
There's
thought
a
he came
foot-
the house in there and he caught it on fire twice.
Well, that
He
too.
did. He filled it in and magically that thing started fire. And then the fire department came over and put it out and by golly, it started back up again. But yeah, so.
There was no
I-
reason for that because that could have been taken down if the people that knew what to do, like for example, the Amish people up there.
Right.
They could have taken that down and used those beams, because those beams were over 100 years old.
Right. Well, it is what it is as we speak, so he is in with Mike as his partner that has the drive-through, and nobody has seen too much of Mike. The last I've heard with, when I talked to
Well, is
Justin,
Mike's closed?
Oh, yeah.
yes, he is having some medical issues is what Justin had told me, and he's reopening next year. That's what I got, and that's all I got. Hey, do you want to buy this piece of property? And I said, how much? And he said, okay, I'll talk to the other trustees, which.
He bought it for a cheapie.
Right, so and then I asked him, you know, what's up with Mike's, and he just said he's having some health issues and he's gonna reopen next year. So that's the extent that I know what's going on.
Well, the lot's a mess. You can't do much with it as it is.
Well,
What he's hauled in there, you can't do
Mike's
anything
is a mess
with.
also right now, so. All right, so let us get your phone number. We'll get our guys over there to look at that pipe and stuff, and we'll go from there. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Yeah. Matter of fact, you stirred long enough.
yeah.
Okay.
The metal in the tires,
Yes.
are we gonna have a trash pickup?
Well, we decided, obviously because of the general fund, and I don't know if we've explained it to you, but the state, if you remember when Mr. Kasich took over office in Columbus, over Strickland, when Strickland, he said, well, he left no rainy day fund. So Kasich vowed to build that rainy day fund. He got it to $2.7 billion, and how he did it, he took it from townships, general funds, cities, schools. That's where he took it from. Now, the new governor, DeWine, is back, or in, and now they're talking about giving some of that money back that they've taken from our general fund, and now they want to give it to the road fund. And it's like, no, and now Otarma is pushing it's like you took it from everybody's general fund, give it back. Because they broke everybody's general fund is what they did when they took that money. So now DeWine's saying we're gonna give it back to the road fund. It's like the road fund's solvent. You know, we got plenty of money from the gas tax, and the fire department's fine. It's the general fund.
Yeah.
So, with the general fund being so low, it's costing about $780 per dumpster to do trash. So if we would have filled just 10, which we always fill more than that, that's $7,800. We didn't have it to do it. So what we had talked about is in the fall, if the money is there, maybe we'll do it in the fall. But as you can see, Ravenna has now ended their program. There's no more in Ravenna, and you'll see other townships, unless they give us the money back in the general fund. You know, that was quite a bit
We're
of
all in the
money.
same boat.
We just went through that budget. When I first came trustee, our budget was 1.3. We're down to just over.
1.278.
No, we're 1,006, just over.
Yeah,
So
now, but
there's
at
300
that point,
grand.
it was
So
1.27.
it's quite a bit of money that you need to operate less on. I mean, we haven't bought a paintbrush out of the general fund. It's just not there. You know, Nancy told us this spring, if you guys don't have to buy mulch, don't. Okay. So,
Along those lines, there's several of my neighbors wanted to know if they could pitch in like a couple $100 a piece, and is that possible with some private funding? to go
well,
along with
you know,
that?
we thought about that too. Again, it comes to the amount of dumpsters that you use.
Okay.
Okay, so somebody mentioned, why don't we just get 2 dumpsters? Okay, so as soon as those are filled up, then
2 dumpsters,
everybody
yeah.
behind there, you say, we're full. That's gonna upset everybody. You have to be able to be prepared to at least do 15. So you take 15 times 780, you better have that.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, that
That's
dumpster,
trash.
there's some people that save it
Didn't we do
all year
almost
long
20
waiting for
one
this.
year?
So, yeah,
Yeah.
We're
We've
talking about
almost
people
done-
getting rid of boats, mattresses, TVs, I mean, it's big stuff, you know.
Right,
So
right.
Everybody's got big items, so.
right. So you just have to prepare to spend 8 to 10,000. So that's quite a bit of money to raise privately, I think. I'm not saying it can't be done,
Okay,
but, I mean, our general fund is that bad of shape since he decided to take it. Now we're fighting now to get it put back there instead of put in the road
We
department.
almost did 20, and I just checked with Nancy. Nancy said it was pretty sure. Well, I think we almost did 20 one year.
Yeah,
And it just,
that's
the money's not there.
$14,000. It's just not there. And
Wish it
I
was.
would love to do it. But like, you see a lot of townships, Edinburgh didn't do it for a couple of years. They did it a full one this year. But the last couple of years, they've done nothing but scrap and tires. Ravenna just announced they're done with that program. It's the money, it's
So do
the
we get
cost.
money for the scrap and the tires?
We get money for the scrap. The tires cost us nothing. The scrap that we got, we'll find out. Jody Berkey handled that, so we'll probably, I think last year we got $800.
pays for one dumpster.
Yeah, see what I mean? Because the scrap that we end up getting, it's considered like tin, which pays the less, you know, the least amount. It's not like people are bringing up, you know, batteries and converters and, you know, big dollar stuff. It's toy stuff, so. But yeah, I would love to have it, you know, but it just, it is, townships, I wish the whole everybody's government ran like a township. You can't go into a deficit. It's illegal. You can't. But the state can go into deficit, federal government can, but townships can't. You can't.
All right, then my last little comment is, I've kind of gathered from some of the other things that I've been hearing, is the zoning issue a dead thing for the ballot then? Is zoning done?
I have heard, yes.
Okay.
I'm hearing it sounds like it. Here's the problem. And we explained it to the zoning committee. And I've made my opinions to them also that, number one, it's never gonna pass. Number two, the township doesn't have the money to put it on the ballot.
That was my next.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be at minimum $3,500 to put it on the ballot.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because it has to go through regional planning, and we know regional planning's at least 2,500 plus the 1,000 on top of that. I mean, so there's, I don't know, Don he's no longer part of the committee, so you couldn't ask him what they're thinking, but I don't know what the committee's thinking either at this point. But I know Mr. Bell resigned, I heard a couple other ones were gonna resign. I
This is
heard-
not something the trustees have brought up either. This was brought up by concerned citizens that went through the channels to get the petitions, you know, to go that route and submit it to us. And we have, by law, we have to take it and do what's proper with it. But like he said, there's just no money there for us to put on the ballot.
I mean,
If-
it's that bad. I mean, that general fund's that bad.
Put it in perspective, we have right now, today, we have $3,800 in the general fund, and that's it.
Yeah. We got let me give you an example. We got a check for the taxes for 48,000. 28,000 went that day. As soon as we got that check, 28,000 to cover the insurance on all the properties that's owned by the township. Boom, you're right back down to 20,000. And again, the state, when he decided to do that, and he did. He took it from the school's budget. He took it from the general fund because he couldn't take it from road and bridge. He couldn't take it from the fire funds because some of those are levied. But oh my God, he took
Yeah.
it from
If
everything
this
else.
makes sense at all with the school, I'm a teacher, And I keep an eye on that. What they're doing with the school budget now, the money they're gonna get back to the schools, they're gonna give them to the schools that don't need the money. They're giving it back to Sultan. They're giving it back to Mentor. They're not giving it to Southeast or Wyndham or Rootstown or Cleveland City School. We're the ones that need it, but they're not giving it to the people that need it. They're giving it to the Hudsons and the Solons.
Well, they're talking about giving it back to the townships, in the cities that they've robbed out of, but to what extent, how much of it is coming back, and if in fact it will come back to the general, or are they bound and determined, the wine's bound and determined, to put it in the road
How
fund.
long is it gonna take?
They're fighting over it right now.
That's what
I mean, going back and forth,
Even if you decide
right.
it's still gonna be a time issue.
Exactly. You know how that works, government, it takes forever and a day.
And then they're gonna ask you for taxes.
Yep.
They don't wanna raise our taxes.
Well, yeah, they just got you 10 cents a gallon, 10.5 cents a gallon.
He's still
Let's
up.
see how many of those
I
roads
know
are
we
gonna
still
get
can't get
fixed.
there.
Yes, sir.
One other thing then too, now, if the city wouldn't have any opposition if we do get like 10 or 15 neighbors together to give a couple $100 a piece to buy a couple of dumpsters.
Well,
if we did it on our own property.
I don't want to correct you, but township, not city, but
Okay.
again, the dumpsters, we're gonna have to have an open discussion on that with Ed too, because what happens when we run out, we can only raise enough money for 2 dumpsters?
No, like if we did it, if we put a couple of dumpsters on my property and I had 10 of my neighbors do it. And
You can do that all day
Oh, yeah.
long, sure.
All right,
You call
I just
Scott's
don't
or,
want to just have.
oh no, absolutely,
All right.
have it,
All right.
absolutely.
Where do you live?
Yeah, see? They're gonna find you and hunt you down and dump their trash.
Yeah, well, it's, we may do, by the car, I mean, it's pay for the
But
dumpster.
absolutely,
So, all right, so
absolutely.
if there's not a problem with that, we may do that.
Absolutely.
Because we're starting, what are we gonna do with their stuff? I mean,
Right.
it's, like I say.
Some of it you can put out a little bit every week with your
But it's
trash.
the old couches and it's the mattresses, it's the big stuff that actually really fills those dumpsters up, and that's why you fill
Well,
them up.
what we
with the-
probably could do was get Brian out of town. No. Did I say that out loud?
That sounded like a vacation in the township. If I could read between the lines, that is a paid vacation in the
That's a paid
township.
vacation.
I just wanna know
No,
where
we
the
can't afford
property
it.
is, where the.
No, I get you, but yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
No,
All right, 'cause I
private.
just,
On your
I
jet.
just, don't wanna,
I mean,
look like
it
we're
would-
running a dump or anything, but it would
No.
just be, a weekend.
Usually when they do that, they'll drop those dumpsters off, they'll say you got a week.
Yeah.
Just know, it'll probably be there longer, because I got one time for a week and it was there for a month. So
Well,
just
we
so
know
you
the guy who owns the dumpster, so.
Okay, there you go.
Cause I texted him the
Well,
other day.
if you know a guy with the dumpsters, can you do it any cheaper than the
I
$700?
will ask him,
And then $780 a dumpster.
I will ask him.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
There's
I
a guy that
texted you
lives
the
on
other day.
Mechanicsburg, he does that stuff too. I forget what his name is. Is it who you're talking
Yeah.
about?
That's the guy you're thinking of? Okay, I was thinking, because I think right now we're using Scott. Does that sound right? Scott containers?
I will
So
ask him.
780, I think, is what we pay, 780, 786, something like that.
Something like that.
Glenn's his first name, but I forget
Yeah.
what his last name is.
Yeah, if you'd find that out, sure,
I'll ask
absolutely.
Glenn and see how much he charges, and
Okay.
if he's got, I mean, that's his business, but.
It's all gonna depend on what dump fees are anymore.
Well, I was gonna say, he would probably let you use the dumpster for nothing, but he's gotta pay the dump fees.
Correct. That's the same thing
Dump
with
fees are-
Scott, they bring the dumpsters and they actually deliver them to us, and then we call them, we say we need more, and during that weekend, he ships us in and out
Okay.
what we need. But yeah, I'd like to find out different prices, but I think so far, we did shop and we found that Scott was the cheapest at 780.
Okay.
It's called Scott's Dumpsters, so if you'd ask
All
him,
right,
yeah, let us
I'll chat with
know.
him and see what, like I said, I'm sure he's more than willing to, if his name's out there and,
Okay, sounds great.
all right.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, there's another thing, me and Nancy's talked about it.
Okay,
Years ago, back in the early 90s or late 80s,
okay,
it was voted on and taxes went up. If they say this is wrote on the thing, when it was voted on,
okay,
they would be 2 pickups a year for Deerfield. The older people, generations brought it to my attention.
okay,
Nancy
so,
said when she gets time, she's gonna go back
Okay,
and try to find that.
okay. Yeah, see if you can, there's nothing there, you don't think?
I don't think so, because that would have to be a levy. In order for every property owner to pay for that, it would have to be a levy.
And the levy expires.
And the levy comes through the taxes, through the auditor's office. The money would come in just like the property taxes. And as long as I've been here, now, I'm gonna look to see if it was before, but I know as long as I've been here, there has not been a
They
levy.
said it was who was the secretary before you?
Betty Jones.
I think they said that's who was in the secretary when that happened. It was in the early '90s or late '80s.
Okay, yeah,
That was done.
I
Would
started
the,
in
would the,
96.
would the county auditor have anything on that? Or the Board of
Did
Elections?
you ask somebody at the county auditor's office?
No, I didn't go ask him. I was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
go.
I would
and
say the
come
county
talk to
auditor should
you.
have record if there was a levy put through, but to me, levies run out. And
Yeah,
unless it, I mean,
right.
I've never heard of a
There-
grandfather
Well, there
clause.
are some levies that are ongoing.
Continuous.
They're continuous.
Correct.
But I would see that when we got our money from the auditor's office with the property taxes.
Right,
I
it
would
would-
see it would be on the form.
Right.
Jerry, I will
There
also
hasn't
ask
been
my
any.
father-in-law, because I believe he was a trustee back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Yes, he was.
Herman, yeah, so I'll ask him, see if he remembers.
That'd be interesting, though.
Was he trustee with Johnson?
I don't remember, that was before my time with,
Howard Johnson was one of the trustees. I think Howard Johnson was one of them. He said it was there.
he was a zoning inspector, and then he went to trustee for one term. And I'll
That's
find out,
interesting.
but that was before
That'd
I
be
knew.
interesting to find out. But like I said, if there was one on there, it should show when you get your tax money.
Yeah,
It would show that levy on there.
show
It'd have
that.
to. They have to show every levy, what money comes in from every levy, and what you have to split it up at. And if it doesn't show on hers, I'm gonna say that it's probably not there.
You probably.
I'm not,
well, it's not from a levy anyways.
Right.
That's not where the money I mean, there's no money
well, there's
being
no other way
charged.
that money can be comes in. Then
Not that I'm aware of.
Right.
But if I'd go to the auditor's thing, they could find that for me.
I would say so, yeah. Well,
And you'd have to get your date somewhere, let's say 88 to 92,
well, if you go from 85 to 95.
and see if there's anything
Or
in
80,
there.
1980 through 95, or 90.
Because the
I
older
started with
generation's the one that
96.
talked to me about it, said, when they would ask me why you're not having trash pickup, they said that was voted on to be in there all the time. That's even, he said, it was
Okay,
even wrote on the ballot.
It was on the ballot. Okay, then the Board of Elections would have that.
Board of Elections
The
should
Board of
have
Elections would
something
have
on that, yeah.
Jerry,
If it was on the ballot.
Right.
ask Joyce. She also said it was on there.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah.
She told me.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. Yeah, Board of Elections. Because if it was on the ballot, they have to have
Yeah.
record of it. They have to. So
But
make
they
them,
said it was back in the early '90s or the late
well,
'80s.
just make them go look through,
Yeah, have them
through
look
80,
for it and see
go
if it was a
15 years.
recurring, or maybe it had, I mean, maybe it was only for a certain amount of number of years, I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
could be too. It was, if it was on the ballot, it may have been a 5-year levy that would not have been renewed, maybe. I don't know. I
I'd go
don't
from
know.
80 to
I
95.
would too,
80 to 95, that's 15 years.
yeah.
And it's gotta be in there if you think it's in that time period.
The old timers told me that, it
Yeah.
was in that.
Yeah, that's
period.
what,
I think at Johnson.
I think Board of Elections would be his best bet.
I think Howard Johnson was in during that
But
time.
that was the secretary before you,
Betty Jones,
because they said you hadn't got in yet,
right.
and that happened.
And Betty was in, I started in 96, she was in for, I believe, 16 years. 96, 86, 81. So I'd go from 1980 to 95.
Yeah, that covers 15 years. Yep, okay.
But I just know what the older guy,
Yeah,
the older generation.
It'd be interesting to find
I don't
out.
remember.
yeah.
But I can say that it had to expire because we're not seeing it coming in on a tax.
Not since I've
And
been in.
if it was actually on the ballot, that would be a levy.
That would be
And
a
then a
levy.
levy would show up on hers for, and it would divide that
tax
individual dollar amounts up that came in for that. So. Okay, anybody else?
When are they gonna do Johnson Road, do you know?
I do not know. I know we're getting it ready, cutting back the, cutting it back and we're gonna do another patching on it and, I'm sure that this company gets hold of Mikey and schedules. Cause we've already, and they get together with Portage County Engineer also.
Isn't it September usually?
Yeah, I'm thinking late
September.
August probably. That'll be nice.
Could've done in the
Now we
past.
can just stop the
Trucks.
trucks.
We get our stop sign so we can see to get on the 14th. Where the grass is so high. That may go.
Oh, yeah, I got that one
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
Oh,
the both of us, yeah.
I'm gonna talk
Both
to,
ends.
he's gotta talk to Brad because, and Brad's gonna have to sign off something saying, I'm allowing the township to go on my property.
Cause I know I
Because word of
called
mouth's
Ed
not gonna
real
do it.
early in the morning and stuff, and he
Yeah.
said he'd get with Mikey, and then I seen Mike along the road and stuff, and I talked to him, and he said Brad changed his number and he hasn't been able to get hold of him, so.
Call his mom's phone.
I'm thinking he's driving that Volkswagen now. Cause I've seen it at the church now for 2 days.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? All right, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn the meeting and pay the bills.
Second.
You want me to bring mine in with me?
What?
My bills?
You're on overtime.
Sure, why not?
Why not? What's a couple extra